What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today we're going to be talking about the Mad Huntsman himself, Zsolt. This Zsolt deck is built under Chaos, and it's got a lot of craziness going on. It's not your average Zsolt deck because it is Zsolt 2. And we're not playing any other copies of Zsolt 1. We're not playing any copies of Zsolt 2. It is just, we're playing Zsolt 2. He's a madman, and he just wants to kill you. So, yeah, let's get into the deck. All right, so this is Zsolt 2. Zsolt 2 is a really interesting character. He's a 6 hand size with 26 health. I think it's kind of neat that the 7th cross characters, some of them have different health from their 2 to their 1. It just it makes for interesting deck building. But he says, enhance committed foundation, your attack gets +1 to its multiple rating for each character in your staging area. Not necessarily a relevant effect because we're not stacking a bunch of characters, but sometimes giving it a multiple 3 attack, multiple 4 might just be the thing that wins you the game. And then enhance check of 4, your attack gets +X speed and +X damage. X equals the printed multiple rating. This is the way that we're killing people. This is the way that we want to make the best of our character. And with this, plus a couple of the other combo cards that we have in our deck, a couple of our game plan cards, we just demolish people. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's jump into it. Starting off with our actions, we are playing for the Dark Tournament Looms. We have a lot of really easy momentum generation, not just with smacking our opponent, but with card effects as well. And so being able to have access to that extra card, as well as this has a block, it checks a 5, it draws you an additional card. It says if this smacks you once, it's probably going to smack you again. Let's just utilize our momentum the best that we can. It is an extra bullet, and I want to make sure I'm reloading my gun as much as I possibly can. Onto the attacks, we're playing our game plan card, Reduction. So Reduction says that whatever Zsolt's XX is, it's also +2. So it's X +2, X +2. It says that my opponent's at Desperation. It also builds me a momentum if it's not blocked. And so it means that they kind of have to, they just discard a free card in order to block Reduction, or your attacks that have multiple now have a trigger for multiple. And so it's extra ammo. This says that they discard a card, which means that my multiple that's getting +X +2, +X +2 is just that much more scary. They have to hold more, which means their game plan is slower. This is such a good game plan card, and it makes my opponent really sweat as I toss this into my card pool as a form. We're playing 4 Life Force Thread. This card is a throw that says that Reduction gives it additional stats. So it is a 4 mid for 10. In Zsolt, we don't actually get to trigger anything off of this, but it has the same ability as Reduction that says if it's not blocked, and it will be blocked, which means they've now discarded 2 cards. And then if this has received a speed and damage bonus, which it has because of Reduction, my next attack is going to get 3 speed and 1 damage, which means that with these 2 cards in the card pool and Zsolt, it's now +X +5 +X +3. And so +5 +3 on my next attack is very, very strong. It's super, super good. No, this doesn't have a block, but it's got 8 damage, so the trade-off is fine. On to the way that we kill people. So Rapid Strikes is actually our main kill card. This card has a printed multiple 3. So the multiple doesn't necessarily matter for any of our attacks. What matters is whenever I check a 4, this stack gets 3 speed and 3 damage. I'm just going to combo that with Reduction. This card gets 5/5. It's a 10 mid for 9 on a 5 diff that has multiple 3. And if you have at least 3 momentum, add the top 3 cards of your deck to your momentum. So it fuels its own multiple. And when you play another one, it's going to get another 5/5. And the multiples all happen. Crazy, crazy strong card. Super relevant in all the matches. This is our primary kill card. It has a little bit of knowledge. Name a card type and you can change the zones. Very, very rarely is that relevant, but when it's relevant, it's super relevant. I'm going to keep this up here for now. Our next main kill card is Sadistic Ways. This card has multiple 2 on it, so it's a 7 mid for 6, not including the Reduction plays. And then it fuels its own momentum. Maybe I've got a bunch of these gray cards in my hand, and I want to be able to multiple this out. Well, then I'll just pay 2 life and stuff these 2 cards into my momentum in order to make my multiple on my Rapid Strikes happen. Once again, super relevant card. Reduction that is not blocked in the Sadistic Ways means that Rapid Strike is now a live card for its ability. Neat stuff. We're playing triple Slide Shots. So Slide Shots is really cool because it's a multiple 2 card. So it is a 5, or it's a 7 low for 7 on a 4 diff that has multiple 2 and DX2 that kicks the multiple copies if we want to. This deck is just all about big, huge numbers. I think this is a really really, really cool way to play Zsolt. We're playing Double Delamento. So this card has Jetta multiple too, and this is a really interesting for my new kids who don't know this. This is printed on the card, even though it says Jetta. We cannot use the multiple ability on the card, but we can use the. It is printed, so it does get 2/2 if I check my 4. So with reduction, this is a 3 diff that is a 7 for 7, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 for 7. That gives us a momentum if we block with it. We also get to play it as a reversal, and so it's a 5/5 on a reversal on a 3 diff that you blocked on the high block. It's super, super scary stuff. On to the foundations. We are playing 4 Hiding in Plain Sight. This is 100% just an aggressive card, honestly. It doesn't even hit our game plan because the game plan is to play multiples, and multiples just kill them. So this is not triggering some secondary win condition or fueling my other stuff. All it's doing is it's just going straight towards multiples, which is just an inherently aggressive stat. So I'm going to put these in the aggressive category when it comes to card descriptions. That's what this card does. It wants to grab momentum. We're going to use it. We're playing Wild Hunt. I'd consider this also possibly an aggressive card. If there's at least one face down in your card pool, it counts as 2. So while I'm playing my multiples, I get to extend my combos a little bigger. It just basically says that my multiple doesn't count towards progressive if you want to look at the math a little differently, and it's on a spam. It's or a 1 or 0 diff foundation. It's got a good block, got a good check. Card could be a 3 of. If we were playing Zsolt 1, we could maybe play 4 of it because of the response flip after you deal exactly 1 damage, add 1, but we are not, so who cares? Moving on, Pure Defense. Wear Light. This card says that my opponent ends their attack. You pick an enhance in their staging area that they cannot normally play, like the Raiden enhance on Ageless and Wise, or a committed card, or something that has a gate that they cannot apply, and then you make them end their turn. As long as you're done with your enhances, you end their enhances. We're playing Triple the Azure Nightmare. This is just, once again, an all-around good card. I'll discard a card that I'm not going to use in order to ready it, whether it be an offense or defense. I'm going to call this a defensive card. I bet that's what we primarily use it for. Just because of playing multiples, we will play 1 attack, multiple out the 3, and then probably have to use this to commit a card and then ready it on my opponent's turn in order to block something. Disruption, we've got War for Armageddon, enhance, flip one of my opponent's foundations with a responsibility on it. This stops things that maybe stop multiple. That's honestly really it. I want to be able to stop what I need to in order to make sure that my multiple game plan happens. We're playing Triple Bug Zapper. This is just a game plan card. It gives us a momentum. It checks for our momentum. The more momentum that we can possibly have, the stronger we go into our game plan. Yeah, you could possibly call it defense depending on the situation, but I think it's more game plan because I just want to play out more cards. This doesn't necessarily gets us our momentum unless we add it in. So you could argue for game plan or aggression depending on how you view the card itself. Once again, another defense card. We've got Face of a Monster. It's 90% defense, but it's got that 10% of offense just because of interesting cards like Rapid Strikes. Rapid Strikes says that I get to look at a card in my opponent's hand if it touches them, and the multiple abilities gain this as well. And so the Desperation hands change the zone. If they have 1 card in their hand and you get to look at it and you see that it's high, you can just, change the zone of your next attack to low and then smack them for 9/9. Relevant effect on aggro, but it's going to come up so rare that I can't possibly put it in the aggression pool. It has to be in defense. Has to. 3 Uniting Rebels. The card's purely defense. Gains a life. Checks really well. Besides that, it's fine. Dreaming of Becoming Whole. I think this is an aggressive card. It's best utilized whenever I multiple. I maybe checked bad on my first turn or my second card, and I committed all of these. I'll multiple and then just ready them all back. Besides that, the +1 of my check probably isn't relevant. I'd rather have the damage. But either way, both of these cards are both of the abilities are just I want to kill you faster. Playing Double Unpredictable Movement. Defense, commit, -2 speed. It's a good spam. It's got a good block. Good check. Playing Double Jagen Form. I see this as an aggressive card. R once per enhanced step after your attack receives a speed bonus, it gets +1 damage. And so if I Zsolt correctly or if I have reduction in my card pool during the enhanced step, reduction does not trigger, Zsolt does. If I trigger with Zsolt, I will increase it so it's +X +X +1. relevant card, especially if it got both. It just turns Zsolt plus reduction plus whatever into just an absolute beating. Playing double, protecting Yukinia. It's very similar to the hiding in plain sight. Destroy at a momentum. I want to use that for multiples, but it also has a tinge of defense on a 1 mid block that if I block this, if after you block with this card, the attack deals no damage. Very, very good on defense, and honestly probably worth just holding in your hand depending on how aggressive your opponent's playing. I would classify this as a defense card, and it happens to be a momentum generation as well. Checks a 4, so just be careful with that. And then my last 2 cards, I've got one Shaolin Fighter, which is exclusively defense. Discard a momentum. This attack gets a -4 damage, playable while committed. Only play while you're at desperation, so when you're at 12 life or less. This is just, I've smacked you a bunch, or I've gained a bunch with cards that gain like protecting and hiding in plain sight. Oh, well, I'm not going to die this turn. Hopefully I can kill you. And then my last card is a very aggressive card, like hyper aggressive, one of the best aggressive foundations in the game. True Identity. Form, commit. All my checks to play attack cards get +1. Basically, it says one of my cards ignore progressive as long as I'm playing a big attack string. Make sure that you don't form commit if you're not playing a bunch of attacks. If you're playing a bunch of attacks, this works. If not, you just committed a card for no reason. You gotta have to have the reads and assume that you're gonna check bad. This card only works when you're checking bad. So it is. I believe this is a skill-intensive card. You have to know when to play it. It's not, I'm playing one attack. Let's just commit some cards. Otherwise, you're going to check a 5. You checked a 6. Well, you committed a card for no reason. Really, play this card smart. Make sure you know what you're doing. All right, everybody, so that was Zsolt 2. Under Chaos without playing Zsolt 1. This deck is kind of a beating. If you don't have answers to the +X, like overly dramatic or something along the lines of Deliverance, or you don't have a way to bang his character, it's possible he just grabs a grip of attacks, momentum or not, and just kills you. Getting +5, +7 damage on stuff for literally no reason is enough to just kill everybody, like every single person. Not to mention, if you don't block gaining momentum and then multiplying again, those getting damage because of reduction. Really, really, really aggressive deck if he draws the right hands. If you like this, thank you very much. Go out to patreon.com/TCG University to see the entire campus championship as well as all these deck profiles a whole week early. If you don't want to go out and support the show, that's totally okay. We'd love to see your support out on youtube.com/TCG University as well a week later. So from all of us here at TCGU, stay alert.